Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
All right, a lot to cover in the next 3 minutes. Let's get right to it, with the headlines being that a hurricane or a major tropical storm is not headed our way, but rather a weakening one. Doesn't mean that tomorrow is just a couple of sprinkles and a little bit of a breeze. There'll be some very heavy rain and some gusty wind. Here's the location of Andrea right now in the Big Bend area of the west coast of Florida with winds of 65 miles per hour. Lots of rain, even tornado watches across the entire Florida peninsula this afternoon. The track of the storm, and it will start to accelerate. Here's the latest: winds of 65 miles per hour moving northeast at 15. Put this into motion as it tracks over the Carolinas. It weakens to a non-tropical storm, but the track takes it over the lower Cape by the late Friday night, pre-dawn hours of Saturday. And along that track will come quite a bit of rain and some gusty wind. Any kind of a wind potential, and it won't be severe, would be reserved for the South Shore and the lower Cape and Islands and the offshore waters as well. We're thinking somewhere, say, 35, 45 miles per hour. So here's the situation. Now, the light rain kicks in after 10 o'clock this evening, but the widespread rain is certainly here on Friday. The core of the heaviest rain is from roughly Friday afternoon through Friday night into the pre-dawn hours of Saturday. Any kind of wind potential would be in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range in gusts, not sustained, but rather in gusts, and that would be reserved for the South Shore only. In the meantime, it's quiet on live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar. You're running some errands, you're heading out, it should be fine. Clouds continue to be on the increase, and eventually later on this evening, a very light rain will start to work in. Downtown Providence, cloudy skies and cool. Temperatures in the mid-60s. Most spots right now range anywhere between 63 and 66. Flood watch goes into effect Friday afternoon through early Saturday morning for the entire area, with the exception of the lower Cape and Islands. It's keeping an eye on the streets, local rivers and streams, as flooding as possible, with 2 to 4 inches of rain. Now, as far as any kind of wind potential, it would be realized mainly along the coastline and just offshore in this pink zone from westerly to Cape Cod and the islands. Anywhere between 35 to 45 mile per hour gusts are possible. I mean, keep in mind, Sandy had 90 mile per hour gusts along our south shore. So this is not a Sandy, but it is a lot of rain and some gusty wind. The bulk of the rain is still off to our west, and this isn't really the direct moisture from Andrea. That is still down in the Gulf of Mexico. This is kind of a leading edge of some moisture ahead of the storm system, but Sandy's moisture heads our way tomorrow. Futurecast shows this very well. Let's take it into the future, starting off at 7 o'clock this evening, and then notice by midnight the rain is starting to work in. This is around 2 o'clock in the morning. Here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning with rain, but then notice how it becomes widespread and heavy. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is the direct moisture from Andrea working up the coastline tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening as well. It lasts through all of Friday night, but it's a fast mover. So look at Saturday. The storm is pulling away, and other than a leftover shower, things will improve on Saturday, and even a little bit of sunshine. Now, I wouldn't rule out a spot shower on Saturday, but Saturday is clearly better than the weather that we're forecasting for Friday. Futurecast for this evening and overnight: a dry early evening, then rain after 10 o'clock, and it's a widespread rain both Friday morning and Friday afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 60s. As far as any coastal concerns, there are no coastal flood watches at this time. We're not expecting serious coastal flooding, but you would have some of the gustier wind along the South Shore, and that would be mainly on Friday night. And Saturday, I'm still holding out some hope for some warmer sunshine as the storm moves out. It's not a washout. Some sun, though we can't rule out a brief shower or a thunderstorm. Sunday is still looking okay with partly sunny skies and warmer. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. We'll bring back some scattered showers both Monday and Tuesday of next week, with daytime highs in the mid 70s and nighttime temperatures in the 60s. So a 2 to 4 inch soaker may lead to some urban street flooding, and we'll keep an eye on local rivers and streams. As far as any wind potential, it shouldn't be overly severe, but some gusty wind along the South Shore tomorrow night.
Alrighty, a real soaker. More coverage you can